Thursday, March 14th, 2024, my friends, we are back in the lab, so you know what that means. I am cooking up winners we swept yesterday. Can we do it again? Let's find out. What's up, guys? It's your boy Noble Living back with another DYF Bets video where I'm breaking down my favorite picks and plays of the day as we just tried to get to the bag together and make some money yesterday. 3-0 day. We got the team together, baby. That's what I'm talking about. We needed it. Cashing on some bonus rebounds, no sweat bet day. I told you it was high, but he went higher. Colgate, Arkansas made us sweat a little bit, but hey, great comeback there in overtime. And then Grambling State also got it done late night for us. So 3-0 on the day. March record up to 24-18. We need that year-to-date record right here. Still crushing it. College basketball still looking good. And today, guys, I've got 3 college basketball winners on the slate. No NBA for me. If you want the NBA player prop, you got to go to the Discord group. The link is in the description. But if you can, while you're down there, hit that subscribe button and like this video. I greatly appreciate it. Now let's dive into these best bets. For my first best bet of the day, we are in the college basketball matchup, and I'm going to go to the Ohio State Buckeyes taking on the Iowa Hawkeyes, and I'm going to have to rock with Ohio State here, -1.5 on the money line, either or, whichever one you want to take. Now, this is a game here where I have not given you guys a lot of analysis on the channel yet, where it's like you just got to watch these teams, but this is the first you just got to watch these teams type of analysis that I'm going to give you. Because if you've watched Ohio State play over about the past month or so, they're a completely different team than what they were in the beginning of the year. Keep in mind that their coach, who's been there for the last 6 years, Chris Holtmann, he was fired after they got off to a 4-10 start in conference play. Not exactly what you expect from an Ohio State program that historically has done pretty good, right? So for us now, we look at what Ohio State has done after the firing of Chris Holtmann, and look at that. Once they fired him, they won against Purdue at home, which was a big upset. They lost against Minnesota out on the road, but okay, let's give them some slack. Minnesota was the best team to cover against the number this year, right? Michigan State on the road picked up a win. Nebraska at home picked up a win. Michigan, whatever. Rutgers, whatever. But still big wins, and they blew out Michigan and Rutgers, so it wasn't even like they were playing around with their food in that matchup. So they come into this Big Ten tournament now winning 4 games or 5 of the last 6 against some solid teams, Purdue, Michigan State, Nebraska. It's guaranteed tournament teams. And now they have to take on a Hawkeyes team that is not truthfully, I mean, they've been all right. They split their last 4 games of their regular season. They lost to Illinois twice. They beat Penn State and Northwestern. Those are the 2 wins and to go with the 2 losses. But for me, I'm looking at the change of tempo and styles here. This game is going to come down to which team can kind of enforce their dominance and will, because Iowa's one of the fastest paced teams in the country, 26th in tempo, 15th in offensive efficiency. So they're going to look to push the ball, right? But Ohio State, one of the slowest teams in offensive tempo, only 298. And they're 39th in offensive efficiency. So they play good, they score well, even though they play slow. So now it's going to come down to, are we going to play fast with Iowa or are we going to play slow with Ohio State? And I think Ohio State is going to be able to kind of set the tempo and pace here because they have the better defense. Iowa's ranked 149th in defensive efficiency compared to 70th for Ohio State. Also keep in mind that Iowa State does not defend the 3-point line well, 283 on college basketball, and they're 254th in effective field goal percentage on the defensive side of the ball as well. So again, this is not a team that's going to lock you up and put clamps on you, but meanwhile, Ohio State 35th in 2-point percentage defensively. So I think that is going to be the big differentiator in this game. And if it comes down to a close game like it should in the end, then I'm going to go with the team that has more dogs. And that's just if you watch both of these teams again, or Iowa's lost a few games this year because they just haven't been able to grit out the win. They take some bad shots. They rely way too much on the 3. Sometimes they play a little bit too much one-on-one ball. So they're a good team. They should make the tournament. But this game means a whole lot more to Ohio State because if they can get to the finals or the semifinals of the Big Ten, now they're a bubble team that could really steal a spot from somebody. So there's a lot more on the line for Ohio State here. I'm going to take the short line or -1.5 on the money line. Just a better team in the better form over the last month or so with the new head coach who's really passionate and he's got those boys fired up. For my second best bet of the day, we are going to go to a mid-afternoon matchup. And I do apologize if you're watching this video after this pick comes out. That's why you have to be hitting that bell button button. So this way you guys get alerted when these videos come out. We try to drop it by noon every day, but you guys got to be tapped in early because we're going to go to Texas Southern and Jacksonville State here. This is going to be about 3:30 tip time, but I'm going to take Texas Southern -2.5, -125 odds. Now, yesterday we cashed in with the SWAC, so bear with me, guys. I know, the SWAC is not probably a conference that you follow too much, but yesterday we cashed in on Grambling, and today we're going to run it back with Texas Southern. This is Texas Southern's conference, right? Like I mentioned yesterday with Colgate, how I mentioned that the Patriot League was their conference. This is Texas Southern's conference. They've won this conference tournament in 2017, 2018, 2021, 2022, 2023. So they're now going for the 4-peat in this conference, and I do think that they have what it takes to do that, especially when you keep in mind that the number 2 seed, Alcorn State, was upset yesterday by the number 7 seed, Alabama A&M. So now they got to watch that game and say, you know what? We only have to go through Jackson State and one more game before we have to bump into Grambling. And this is a team that's gone to the tournament the last 3 years in a row, who knows how to handle this position, who has veteran players. That matters come March. And I'm going to back that today against the Jackson State team that's just not really good this year. I mean, it's hard to break down either one of these SWAC teams because it's not like, they're all rated high in offensive efficiency, defensive efficiency in the country, and things of that nature. One thing that Jackson State does do good is offensive rebound, which could be valuable in this matchup, but they just turn over the ball a ton. 310th in turnover percentage, and then they also missed a lot of shots, only 295th in effective field goal percentage on the offensive side. So for me, I think Texas Southern, doesn't have the best offense either, but they have a very strong defense, 178th in defensive efficiency, 76 in effective field goal percentage, 86 in 2-point percentage, 109 in turnover percentage. I think that's going to be the difference in the game, especially for Texas Southern, who struggles to score the half court. If they can force turnovers against a Jackson State team against a Jackson State team that turnovers the ball a lot, then they can get out in transition, get some easy buckets, get some easy hoops, and that should lead to the win. KenPom has this as a 2-point win for Texas Southern, so we're literally just over that number at the 2.5. Your book might have this at -3, so make sure you buy the hook, or make sure you just wait for it to go live and maybe grab the money line at a cheaper value, as I do think it will be a little bit closer. But I do like Texas Southern in this matchup. Just a veteran experience, been in this position before. The number 3 seed playing the number 6 seed. They should be able to get this win, and then I think, again, they should be inspired by the fact that Alcorn State got upset yesterday, so that 1 should wake them up for this game, and 2 give them some confidence that they don't have to go through as many hurdles and hoops to get to the finals and get back to the NCAA tournament. So give me Texas Southern -2.5 as the second best bet of the day. Now, our third and final best bet of the day, we are going to go through a 2-team steam. You guys know these moneyline parlays have been cashing in for us. Well, they cashed in yesterday, and we're going to run it back today. We're going to take Texas A&M on the money line. We're going to parlay that with Dayton on the money line. That gets you to +108 odds. Now, here's one thing, a little tip for you guys I've been noticing college basketball. Dropped it to my Discord group here a little earlier. Teams right now, especially favorites, are getting come back on. Now, not every case is a scenario. What I'm finding is teams that have had to play a game before, and then teams that have been sitting, most times, the team that played the game before is covering the first half or even winning the first half outright. But if you are taking a favorite on the money line, -200, -300, and you're trying to parlay it together, teams are losing. We saw that yesterday in Montana. We saw that yesterday with Clemson. We saw that yesterday in Cal. We saw that yesterday in Louisiana Tech. These are all teams that were higher seeds, and they gave up big leads in the second half. But guess what? Louisiana Tech was winning at halftime. Guess what? Montana was winning at halftime, right? These favorites are winning at halftime, typically when that team has not played the game before. So keep that in mind when you're putting together some of the parlays, that maybe you want to go with the first half money line, right? Maybe you want to go with the first half money line instead of the full game money line, because a lot of these teams are coming back and they're actually winning the game outright. We saw that again with Texas as well. So again, keep that in mind. It's a little tip I wanted to give you. But back to these two teams here, Texas A&M, Dayton, two teams that should get it done. Texas A&M analysis is very similar to what it was yesterday in Arkansas. This is just a tournament team. Buzz Williams, he's a tournament coach. He knows how to bring out the best out of his teams. Last year, they made it all the way to the SEC championship. They had to win like 4 games in 4 days, but they made it there. They ended up losing, and I thought they should have got an automatic bid, but they didn't. It's part of the game. But they finished off the regular season strong. After dropping 5 straight games, they finished off the regular season winning 3 straight games. Not the toughest opponents, Georgia, Mississippi State, and Ole Miss, but now they're playing Ole Miss again, and that Ole Miss was a 26-point win on the road. So for me, that gives you a lot of confidence playing against this team again. And when you keep in mind that this Texas A&M team does not shoot the ball that well. Only 348 in effective field goal percentage on the offensive side. They know how to put the clamps on. 50th in defensive efficiency. And I think that is what's going to come down to the difference here in this game against an Ole Miss team that's pretty strong offensively, 49th in offensive efficiency, but we got defense 148th in defensive efficiency. And that Ole Miss likes to shoot a ton of threes, 27th in three-point percentage on the offensive side. But we know that Texas A&M, with their pressure, likes to take away the three-point line as well. So for me, I'm not overthinking this. Can I lay the 5-6 points that they got Texas A&M at? No. 4 is like the number. Like if you got it live, 2.5, 3, 4 is like that number for me. We're seeing these teams are not covering these big spreads. But Texas A&M is a well-coached team. I think Chris Beard is going to have Ole Miss turn around there, but it's just not this season in his first season. So give me Buzz Williams, who has the better coach in the situation and the better player in Wade Taylor. I think Texas A&M is experienced. They're a tournament-built team. Defense is going to win the game, and they crash the offensive boards really well. Number 1 in college basketball in all of offensive rebounding percentage. And guess who's 359th? Ole Miss, which is bottom 5 in college basketball. That right there, second chance points get to the free throw line, could be the only difference that we need to win this game. Give me Texas A&M on the money line. Now, for my second best bet of the day, we're going to Dayton. And the reason why this might be a game that you want to stay off of in the first half, like I just mentioned, is because Duquesne played yesterday. They played yesterday. They beat St. Louis. That could give them some confidence coming into this game. And we've seen Dayton start off games slow before, especially in conference where they've had to come back down the back stretch. And they've lost a few games over the last, month or so. They lost to George Mason a few weeks ago. They lost to Loyola Chicago a few weeks ago. They did beat St. Louis and VCU in overtime to end off the season. But this is not the same Dayton team that we saw start off conference 9-1 and look like they were just going to breeze all the way through the A-10. They actually lost the regular season standings outright to Loyola Chicago. So I see that as a little bit of a motivation for them here. I don't know if they win this tournament, in all honesty, because I see they can get upset. I don't see that happening today against Duquesne. Dayton won both of the regular season matchups, winning the first matchup by 10 on the road, but the second matchup by 16 at their house. So you know what? I just think Dayton can run it back today. Duquesne is a decent team, but they do not compare anywhere near to what Dayton can do. Dayton's 16th in offensive efficiency, 80th in defensive efficiency, 5th in effective field goal percentage on the offensive side, 56th in defensive effective field goal percentage. They shoot the three-point range at the 3rd highest rate in the entire country. So this is a team that knows how to get it done. So for me, I think they're going to be able to get it done. Now, again, I'll be a little worried about the first half money line here just because of the fact that Duquesne played yesterday and Dayton, we've seen them come out a little bit slow, but I don't think that this 163rd ranked offense for Duquesne is going to be able to put up enough points against this stifling Dayton defense that's led there by Deron Holmes. Give me Dayton on the money line, parlay of Texas A&M on the money line to get us plus 100 value to end off the night. Well, that's it for me today, my friends. 3 best bets, 3 winners that are headed your way on the college basketball slate. Give me Texas Southern minus 2.5. Give me Ohio State on minus 1.5 or on the money line. And then give me Dayton and Texas A&M in a 2-team steam. If you want more of my best bets and winners that I've given throughout the day, click the link in the description. Join the free Discord group. Appreciate a lot of support. I'll see y'all later, gang.